we've already heard so much news that everybody's been discussing the fact Charlo, he's going to be fighting Caleb Plant. If both guys come out victorious, they'll probably do a face-off after the fight and get the promotion rolling for a fight later this year, which would be a massive fight. And Charlo even came out and said this, that the fight with Caleb Plant will happen in due time. Here's my thoughts on this situation. Am I against a Charlo and Caleb Plant fight whatsoever? Absolutely not. I would love to see that fight, especially now. Let me say this. I want to see how Charlo looks on Saturday. We've seen Caleb Plant, what was it? I think 8 months ago we saw him in the ring. We know what he's capable of. He's fine. Charlo's been out of the ring a lot longer than Caleb Plant has. And obviously he's gone through a lot of stuff since he's been outside of the ring. Do I think he can return to a fraction or at least a near form of where he was before? Sure, he obviously could do that. He's not too old. He didn't take a lot of damage in his career either. But what does Charlo look like? He has been inactive. Is he able to still come out on top and perform with a good victory against Thomas Lamana? That's to be determined. But here's what I will say. There's a question I can ask now. Caleb Plant has had his back and forth with another fellow 168 title contender, Edgar Berlanga. And so I propose this question to those listening. Would you prefer to see Caleb Plant versus Jermall Charlo or Caleb Plant versus Edgar Berlanga? At the end of the day, I feel like as a boxing fan, I would be happy with either route. Either outcome would be fine with me. But I have to propose a question because both those guys seem to be the two guys that Caleb Plant's rumored or even being set up, you could say, to fight later on this year. And as I was going back and forth, listen to this. I could give you guys a more clear answer on Monday following the fight. But if I were to answer that question right now, I honestly would prefer a fight with Edgar Berlanga. And my reasoning behind this is, listen, I think that Edgar Berlanga, while certainly is annoying, certainly has his quirks about him and is quite interesting, we cannot deny the fact that that fight would be an incredible buildup. Like, let's put the fighting portion aside from that fight right there. Edgar Berlanga is one of, if not the best, at promoting a fight right now in the game. He's a top tier person, and Caleb Plant is also a top tier person. You get those two guys together, we're going to have one heck of a buildup. Both from a social media aspect, press conference, you name it. That buildup would be insane. And let's go even a step further then. Inside of that ring, we get a bad taste for Edgar Berlanga. What he did against Canelo was very questionable. Obviously, now that we've seen what happened with William Skull, it wasn't that bad. But still, it was not a good performance. But I still believe that Edgar Berlanga is a more than capable fighter. And so when I look at the situation, I feel like that would be a perfect fight where the winner of that fight would easily set themselves up for another big payday, with whether that be Canelo Alvarez or that be for somebody else. And so in my opinion, that's the fight to make. I would not be shocked, though, to see Caleb Plant versus Charlo get made. And I'm not against that fight at all, as I said. That would be a great fight to have happen. I think that if Charlo goes out and performs on Saturday, that my opinion could change on this. But at this point in time, I really do like to see a fight between Caleb Plant and Edgar Berlanga. I feel like that is the fight that needs to get made by the end of this year. It's been brewing for way too long. It needs to happen. And if all goes according to plan, you could easily still make the Charlo versus Caleb Plant fight happen in 2026. But in terms of timeline right now, especially if Edgar Berlanga defeats Hamza Shiraz, that fight makes too much sense to make. That's my personal opinion on that, and that's the fight I like to see happen if all that goes according to plan.